Hello everybody, my name is Jack Fishman, and I'm the Community Conservation Officer at PADI AWARE. Today, we are going to learn how to conduct a successful Dive Against Debris event. This presentation will be broken into two parts, setting up the Dive Against Debris and running a Dive Against Debris dive. This presentation will help you understand how to run and safely operate this event, alongside a step-by-step guide that reinforces each process with valuable resources and ideas. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Here is how to properly use this guide. Each step contains relevant resources as mentioned previously, from checklists and email templates to example productions of events. These processes are based on successful PADI Aware Dive Against Debris events from across the globe. To see more examples, check out the Dive Against Debris map featured in the top right of this slide. We are also going to focus on how to properly manage your participants above and below during the Dive Against Debris event. Finally, we will review how to successfully submit your marine debris data, and then how to properly document your event to share with your community. Make sure to visit our AWARE Teaching Hub to find all instructor and student materials. Let's begin by reviewing each step for a successful day of diving against debris. First up, let's identify the right dive site. Where should you clean up? Determine the resources and capacity your dive center or community should consider in terms of access to the site. Safety should play an important role in the planning process if you're considering local participants. Make sure to account for any marine protected areas and hazardous conditions regarding access. We will review proper permits and permissions in Step 3. Don't forget, every dive can be a survey dive. Next up, who should join the dive? Determine proper roles and responsibilities for any participating instructors. If local recreational divers are joining, consider staff who are the best fit for safety and supervision during the dive. Will you need extra supervision? Make sure to coordinate with management so everyone needed can be available on the day of the event. Encourage conducting staff-only or professional-level dive against debris. These will be really useful for training purposes. It will also minimize the risk with local recreational divers and participants. Now, let's talk about required and recommended gear for Dive Against Debris. The right gear will ensure safe practices underwater and help avoid mistakes or injury. If applicable, use gloves to protect your hands. Bring cutting tools to avoid entanglement and to avoid using excess energy or air. Consider marketing materials, such as banners or flags, to help document the dive and capture promotional images. Of course, make sure to have proper disposal bags or containers to keep the debris safe during the removal and sorting process. One of the most important considerations is safety. Make sure you know what the water conditions will be on the day of the dive. Do you need permits to enter or operate in a marine sanctuary? Attached are some links that will help you through contacting relevant government authorities or organizations alongside email templates to ensure a smooth and effective communication process. Included as well are some examples of permits to help understand this step better. Don't forget to have everyone sign the Dive Against Debris liability release, which can be found at the link below for your convenience. Next, let's talk about training and knowledge development. Have you considered if you want to incorporate the knowledge development portion of the Dive Against Debris? Consider planning this part of the event in the morning or prior to the dive. If you are teaching an advanced open water certification, consider integrating Dive Against Debris as an adventure dive. As a one dive specialty, it qualifies both as an adventure dive and a full Project Aware certification. This ensures ample time for your participants to get the knowledge they need to have a successful event ahead. For some tricks, presentations, resources, and an updated specialty instructor application for this, visit the link below. Now that the dive site is confirmed, our roles, expectations, and training are aligned, and we have successfully set up our PADI AWARE cleanup, it is time to run the Dive Against Debris dive. Part 2 of this walkthrough will introduce you to the steps needed to have a safe and productive dive against debris underwater. The first thing we have to decide is, are we going to charge for the event? Payment is not required by any means, but having a paid event with a Dive Against Debris certification can build a tangible value for your community, your dive center, and help embed new conservation programs into your business. When considering a price, factor in your existing dive trip prices, then determine if including a PADI PIC, Project Aware donation, and factoring in gear as a bundle is possible to build the tangible value as clearly as you can. During this check-in process, let's make sure all the participants are properly registered and have signed the proper release forms. This is especially important if you plan to certify them as dive against debris specialists. Now that everyone is registered for the event, let's begin reviewing the briefing process. Let's use the tools provided below or refer to your local experiences. Some important points to cover are as follows. First off, we want to welcome everyone and thank them for coming. Second, we must reiterate local diving guidelines and discuss all conditions, past and present. Make sure to address proper buddy etiquette, especially if buddies are separated and what to do in that scenario. Next, explain task loading, as in taking on other responsibilities rather than just simply enjoying the scenery while underwater. Make sure to also clearly address air consumption and identify the dive leaders as needed. Next up, should it stay or should it go? It is especially important that you mention to your participants what debris you might encounter underwater and when to leave it there. Refer to the PADI AWARE Marine Debris Survey Guide included in the link below for more information on this dive and to ensure a safe and legal dive against debris process. Next, we should mention the safest dive boat or dive site entry and exit procedures. Once all the safety procedures are properly explained, let's dive into the conservation impact and explain the importance of submitting marine debris data to PADI AWARE's database. Don't forget to invite all the participants to join you in the debris sorting process so they can clearly understand all the spoils from the cleanup. Finally, let's thank everyone for participating. If you demonstrate your excitement and enthusiasm, they will also feed off that energy and have a safer, more enjoyable experience. As we mentioned during the briefing process, it is now time to have a safe and successful dive against debris dive. Once again, make sure you have proper supervision for whatever ratios are needed. Double check the weather and local conditions one more time. Coordinate with the captain or dive leader for the type of dive experience you can expect. For example, is it going to be a local beach entry or drift dive outside a known area? Make sure to clearly outline the experience expected for all parties involved. See the link below for more resources and recommendations, as well as a reminder of PADI's local diving guidelines. Remember, it is always safer to reschedule your event for another day if conditions aren't suitable for all participants or skill levels. Fantastic! Another successful dive against debris. Now it's time to measure the conservation impact. If you are conducting a dive against debris in a group, make sure only the dive leader submits the data to avoid duplicate submissions. You'll want to take an accurate reading of the GPS from the dive site. Next, using the Dive Against Debris online submission form, measure the area you conducted the dive inside of. If the area reads larger than 2 football fields, or 13,600 meters, and 146,388 feet, consider retaking the area, as that number will be too high for normal circumstances and require a quality review with our data team. Zooming in closer on the map will help prevent most miscalculations. If your group didn't find any rubbish, don't fret. 0 is still very much a number, and we want that information too. Clean site information is just as important as areas that are found with debris to help us understand where the key issues of marine debris are and to help you plan your next dive against debris effectively. Refer to the links below and the Project Aware Marine Debris Survey Guide for a full breakdown on the data submission and sorting process. Once you have safely completed the dive, made it so the science can relate, it's officially time to celebrate. This is by far one of the most important steps. Make sure to share the success with your participants and let them know what conservation impacts they made. Not only will this help encourage future participation, but it will also help set up advertisement for your next event. Make sure to film and document your event with lots of images and videos to share with us. We know inspiration and guidance helps with this process, so see below for clear examples of some video productions. It is your passion for protecting the ocean that makes such a difference, and we can't thank you enough for all your support. Hold up those flags and rubbish in unity and help us share the success with our dive community. We hope you enjoyed this guide and the resources included to make some substantial waves in your community. Please contact us at information@padiaware.org for any questions or further assistance in making your PADI Aware Dive Against Debris a success. Thank you so much and have a great cleanup.